Jamie will help us once again now that we are going to go through the nuances of the hammer swing. In the hammer swing, we're going to nail those components of tying together and integrating our structure, our breathing, and our movement. It's very critical here because there's such a closed chain, a tight rotation on your chest so that you can get the maximal range of motion in your spine so that it moves like a string of pearls. We'll start with the first position of Jamie holding out the club belt tight, right, and distant. The mini club belt is now an extension of her elbows. The elbows are locked in one clean line. As she moves into the next position, she's going to literally thread her head through her own forearms. As she's in position, I want you to see how the mini club belt is here an extension of her upper arm. This is parallel to the ground, just like we've done with the front swipe and side swipe. The key component here is that she's dipping underneath to get her head into position. She's not trying to pull her club belt over top of her head, and there's air and space in here. This is really important for safety, okay? In the next position, it'll drop down. As it drops down, the motion is to keep this as quiet as possible. The mini club belt will transition to the next side, and she'll begin to unthread her head as she pulls it over the far shoulder and ends up once again at first position. So if you can turn back this way again. We'll begin with all components, and I'm just going to walk her through a little bit more fluidly. So first position, flag with a tip. Second position, block. Third position, it swings even. Fourth position, she unthreads back to first. So I'm going to allow her to do a few repetitions fluidly. Each position. Notice how, as she continues, the spine is waving. It's moving in a circle. Allow your throat to be open as you perform these so that your breath moves from one lung to the next. If you're open, the exhalation will occur from the motion. One more time, and she's finished. Dan has returned to help us with a split swipe. There are basically two nuances to this, but it's important to be able to alternate the hands. So we'll begin in back position with one of the mini club belts. The elbows tight to the head, the mini club belts hanging free, perpendicular to the ground. The elbows not flared out. This is important. Keep it tight to your body. It travels over its own shoulder. The opposite hand in position number one extends down and beyond. So the mini club belt is an extension of his elbow. Locked, clean, one straight line. When he switches arms out in front of him, there'll be a moment when both mini club belts are extended from this long line of his locked elbows. He'll switch and go the opposite direction. As he does, the elbow stays in tight and opens up the chest as he lifts with the opposite side. So I'm going to allow him to move back and forth, alternating through these two. Opens up the chest each time. You should feel that natural inhale as the mini club belts travel over each independent shoulder. The inhalation and the relax into the exhalation. One more time. And he's done. With the alternating mills, Dan will help us by showing us the individual components of this motion. We're going to break them down and then sew them together so that the transitions don't become so dramatic. The first component is to, by leading with the elbow, push the knob behind the head and place it in the back position. I'm going to have him turn around. The back position is here on the far shoulder. The second component is to bring this without noise, perpendicular to the ground to the opposite shoulder by tucking the elbow into the head. This third component, just cast this directly back into order position. So let's go back, turn this way again. First component puts it on the far side, clears the head, threading it just like we did with the hammer swing. Second component brings it to the near shoulder, and third component brings it back into that order position. The fourth component is to bring in the opposite club belt tight to your body so that you don't get it in the way and lock out the arm to the far side. Notice how the club belt is an extension of his arm. The elbow's locked, nice clean line. And I'll swing it across his body to the far side. Nice clean line. We'll tuck it back in, bending the elbow back in the order position. So that's the complete motion for the alternating mill. So we'll go through the components again, individual. First with the right side, behind the head, to the near side of the shoulder, over into order, lock to the side, swing, and contracts it back into order position. To alternate, all we're going to do is use the opposite side. So with the left side, we're going to place the mini club bell into the far back position, swing by bringing our elbow close to our head to the near shoulder, then bring the mini club bell over into order position, lock to the side, swing, lock to the opposite side, and contract it back into order. I'll let Dan alternate now on his own. He'll punctuate just slightly the components, and then as he continues through the repetitions, I'll point out the transitions as they become less dramatic. Go ahead, on. You'll notice that there's a lot of expansion in his chest as he goes into back position. Allow that to be a natural inhalation. Good. Okay. Now, you see the fluidity as you move through it. Now all I want you to concentrate on is alternating arms. So we'll start with the right side, and as soon as you complete one rep, I want you to go to the left side. This is going back to the basic element of symmetry and getting into flow. So first the right side, then the left side. It's a nice movement for keeping the body in motion across both sides so that you're working good. Your breath from one side of your body to the next. All right. One more repetition. And you're done. Dan has returned to help us with the alternating backstroke. The components of this, I want you to go slowly. We'll start with, in double order position, he'll move one into back position. As he does, the elbow's tight. This time, I want you to cast directly towards the ceiling, upwards. Nice, long, lean line, elbows locked, the mini club bell's an extension of the arm. When he moves to the swing portion, there's a rotation on his forearm and upper arm. It moves backwards in a full circle, gets a full stretch, and returns back to order position. Let's do it on the opposite side. He moves back into back position. He casts directly up at the ceiling, long straight line. He rotates outward, opens up the chest and begins to swing, comes back into order position. Fairly simple. What I want you to concentrate on is slow, smooth movement. If you don't rotate, you could move too fast and it could cause you pain through here. So I really want you to emphasize rotating and opening the arm within the back position. Up into torch position. Now rotates the arm. Let this open up. There's a slight change, right? And as the swing begins, it gives you a full stretch on your chest. And I'll let Dan go through a few repetitions, alternating arms, just so that we can see the fluidity involved. Rotate, his elbows are nice and tight. Long circles, very fluid. The breath is open and natural, the throat's open. One more time with the opposite arm. And you're done.